So what's your goal with your creativity?
My goal with my creativity would be to continuously learn. You know, because when you stop learning, then you might as well just pack it up. It doesn't matter how long you've been playing or you know, what you've done in your career. If you stop learning, then, you know, because learning is always fresh, it's always fun, it's always, oh yeah. And you can learn from people that are not, you know, not that, what's the word I'm looking for, beginners. I've learned something from guys that barely could play 3 chords, but they do something and you go, oh yeah, you know, that's cool. That's really cool the way that worked out. Yeah, okay.
They might only know 2 notes, but you can learn those 2 notes from him.
Exactly. So it's the way they did something, or the way they approached a song, like an old Bill Monroe song or something. They might have just, it might have been a mistake or something, but you go, that works. You know, so
yeah. How would you describe your creative process of, like, you know, starting from nothing and getting to like a completed form?
Basically, I just dibble dabble, right? And then all of a sudden it starts hitting me, and then I start going, oh yeah, I wonder what this, yeah, if we did this, you know, we move, this movement right here will take me right into there, and we can you know, use some passing chords and some passing scales through those chords to lead me into this next intensity of the song. And you know, you consider, you always play with the song. Always play with the song. It's not about you getting out there and showing both licks, you know. You know what I mean? It's always about the song. And if you can, and you dig from in here, in your heart, and you can play. I've seen guys, and a lot of times I'll take a solo where I'm not just burning, you know, but you know, you take just a simple little thing, and it's the way you phrase it and the way you attack the strings that brings out the soul of what you're trying to say musically.
How do you know when you've got something good enough to keep working on it?
Oh, you'll know. The hair on the back of your neck stands up, and you go, "Wow, my hands just did that." You know, you'll know. You know, as soon as you hit something, if you're just sitting around and you're running your scales and you're warming up or something, and you hit on something, you go, just like an audience would do. If you hit on something and it strikes a nerve, they're gonna go. And you know, say when the first time you ever heard Tony Rice, the hair on the back of your neck stands up. You go, wow, that worked. You know, it's the same thing. It's like if you're playing it and you hit on it, you're gonna know it. You know.
Yeah, man.
Is that clear?
Oh yeah, shoot, yeah. These are all the kind of, you know, answers that, you know, I'm looking for. What kind of mindset do you feel like helps you get into your best creativity? Like, what's the best for going into it, like mentally?
If I'm doing someone else's song, I think I play around with rhythms. I play around with rhythms big time, because that's the meat of the song, and a different rhythm puts you in a different frame of mind of what your solo is going to be. So if I'm playing like a Bill Monroe song, if I start vamping a little different thing, if the bass is still going boom, 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 then my solo, then my solo changes direction, and whatever the rhythm is doing, and it doesn't have to be the standard chicken, you know, that's bluegrass, and I love that too, but I like to change the rhythms up, so your solos, when you attack your solo, you can put a different flavor to it, you know. It doesn't have to be the, you know, stuff like that.
So like the rhythm will kind of maybe dictate kind of what sectors kind of light up in your what different...
Exactly. Yeah, whatever the rhythm's doing will set off a spark to where you can float around the neck a little more and be a little more creative with, instead of running your scales and doing it very staccato, you know, da 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 da, you know, da da do 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 do, you know, stuff like that.
What are your thoughts about music as like a healing power?
Oh, it's the greatest healing power on the planet. Are you kidding me? I've played for many people that were seriously ill, and just to see them light up at what you're doing for them, and it's done me the same way. If I'm in a bad mood, everybody has bad moods and everything, and if I'm listening, I'll go into my music room and I'll put on some Bill Monroe. And then I'll stack them. I'll put some Bill Monroe and then some Dave Grisman, and then I'll turn right around and play some George Benson or some Al Di Meola, and just go through several different styles of music, and then I leave the room going, it's a good day, it's a good day.
Yeah, it's amazing how it can just totally wipe your slate clean in the best way.
And I always like playing the blues right after my wife and I have an argument. Because I got the blues now.
Exact, good inspiration.
Yeah, right.
What do you think? You've been in a lot of awesome configurations, a lot of different, styles and genres of music. What do you think, energetically, in a group, is the key to chemistry?
Everybody has to. First of all, you got to like each other. That's a must. Because if you don't like some guy, and I've been in bands where, a couple of us didn't like each other, and we played good music together, but it just didn't gel. First of all, you got to like each other. But what makes it gel is if you're all in the same mindset and you're open-minded to, like, say, if I'm playing with a mandolin player and you follow each other around. If a mandolin player takes a song off this way, then I'm going to pick it up where he came, and I'm going to go back over this way. And then the banjo player come in, and he might be right down the middle, and then we're all doing this, but it's all making music.
So some contrast is
right.
A good thing for creative balance.
Exactly.
Oh, you're fine. Shoot, it's your party.
Everybody's ideas on a song, everybody's ideas and their contribution to the song sparks more creativity from other members of the band. If I hear the mandolin player taking an awesome solo, it's going to inspire me to get off my butt and play something nice. Then it's a healthy competition. It's not a I'm trying to outdo you or anything like that. It's just we're trying to rib each other on to raise it to a different level.
Yeah, it's because if you don't have that, then you just everybody gets lazy, and you're just like, it's like you don't even care.
And you just go through the motions, and then it shows in your music because an audience, they don't know what's wrong, they just know something's wrong.
They're not engaged.
Then you if that starts happening, then you look out into an audience and you see people starting to carry on conversations. That's a bad sign.
Right, checking their watch.
Right, yeah, looking at their watch,
Yeah, going to the bathroom. What are your thoughts about like the connections between the creative mechanism, whatever that is, and dreaming? You think they're connected?
Sorry, I don't understand what you mean.
Like, it seems like the imagination and the creative circuit, whatever that is, and like wherever dreams come, like it seems like they might kind of interact with each other a little bit. Do you have any?
Yeah, but you have to. Yeah, it's your imagination is definitely, that's where dreams come from. Is your imagination, and if you're being creative on your instrument, then you're using your imagination to venture off into different territory that you might not. You don't want to stick to your same. What's the word I'm looking for? Terry, help me out.
Use your old tricks or whatever, huh?
Yeah. You don't want to step outside. You want to get outside your bubble. Thank you.
Do you ever actually dream tunes up? Like
yes. Yes, I.
Right on stage, actually.
Thank you. I actually, one of the songs that I wrote for the Front Porch String Band, I used to keep my guitar right next to my bed. And I actually woke up that morning and grabbed my guitar and started playing it before it left, because I had actually dreamt that song. The arrangement where everybody's part was what the mandolin was going to do, and we were going to answer each other, and then we were going to do this twin thing at the end of the guitar solo to bring us back out so the fiddle can come in. And yeah, and so I woke up the next morning, and as soon as I opened my eyes, I had my guitar in my hand, playing it, because I didn't want to go have breakfast and get back and go, what was that? What was, God, it was really cool in my dream. But, you know, so I immediately played it, and then I called Claire and Larry and the guys in the band. I said, we need to have a rehearsal this afternoon. I just wrote an instrumental, and I'd like for you guys to help me out with this. And we did. We worked together so well, you know.
What was working with Claire like, you know, creatively?
Oh, it was wonderful. She was creative, and she would write a song in the middle of the night, and her and Larry would drive to my house, wake me up at 3 o'clock in the morning, and she'd have an acoustic guitar, and she'd go, listen to this one. And of course I'd get up and I'd go, yeah, okay. And then I'd grab my guitar, and the next thing you know, it's 6 o'clock in the morning. Me and her and Larry are sitting there working on the arrangement and the harmonies and everything. So it was wonderful. She's absolute talent, you know.
Yes. What was what was your experience making Tuck's album like? That was
that was an awesome experience. Tuck's been my friend for many moons, but he used to play with your parents, and that's where we met. And just what a great guy, what a great dobro player. So he called myself and Eddie Koontz, who was the fiddle player for Front Porch String Band. And this is right after Front Porch had split up and everything. And Eddie moved to Florida, and then I had moved to Florida. And then, so he called us and said, I want to do an album. Would you guys be interested in playing? We went, of course. And then he told us your dad was going to be involved, and we went, and your mom, and we went, yeah, we're in. Because, I mean, your parents are awesome. And it was a wonderful experience, and such, you know, you get that much talent in a room, and everybody's so gracious. You know, everybody's gracious. Nobody's in there going, I'm the stuff. You know, I'm the stuff, you need to listen to me. Nobody's like that. Everybody's going, I want to hear you. What are you going to do on it? You know? And that's the way it was in the studio. I mean, your dad and I and Tuck and everybody, we played off each other. And there was some really cool stuff that came out of it.
Oh my gosh, that album, some of the stuff on there is really like some of my all-time favorite, like, you know, that's some of the best, like, kind of getting her, like, you know, jam hardcore, like, slight, you know, it's Florida style, and that's, you know, that was kind of a unique album.
Yeah.
You know, I love your stuff on there, man.
It was
awesome.
definitely creative on everybody's part, and it was a lot of the stuff was we would run through the song just jamming, and we would tell the engineer, roll the tape while we're jamming, because you don't know what's going to come out of it. And there was a couple of songs that we ran through it, and at the end of the song we went, that one's done. You know.
Yeah, it's fresh. All that stuff is just like it doesn't sound like it's the fourth or fifth take. It sounds like, you know, that's the first cut.
I don't think we did it. I don't think we did very many second takes at all. I think most of it was we'd kick it off and just play the crap out of it, and, you know, flow as we were going along.
Oh man, that stuff holds up over time. It's really good. I love that album. Let's see. Oh yeah, how do you figure out, like, when you're working on something, how do you figure out kind of how far out to go? Like, how do you feel out your parameters to be like, okay, that's too far? How do you know where to draw a line, like, innovatively?
Well, once again, it brings it back to play to the song. Get creative with it. Step outside the bounds a little bit. But, like, you're certainly not going to play a bluegrass song and you got banjos and mandolins and fiddles going on, and all of a sudden you come in with a jazz augmented scale, you know, just way outside the box. I mean, you got to play to the song. You know, skip out there a little bit, but not too far. You know, just adventure off, and you'll feel it. You'll feel it. You'll hear it actually. If you start going outside a little too much, you pull in the reins a little bit, and then drift out a little bit, and then pull her back in a little bit. But you know, I've heard some players that the guys that do that, they go way too far outside their box, are basically not playing with the song. They're showboats. It's like, oh, look at me, look at my chops. Which, okay, your chops are great. You just ruined the song. You know what I mean? I'd rather hear the unit sound great than one individual. You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, that's it. Yeah. It's an awful temptation, you know, when you got these buttons to push, and you got to not push the button. You gotta push the right button.
Exactly. Well, yeah. No, if you got chops, you know, of course you want to stretch your legs, but there's a way to do that and still play with the song. To where you're not isolating yourself from the rest of the band. Basically, if you go too far outside, and it makes it stop flowing as a unit. I'm trying to think of how I could explain that.
No, that's it. It's like they're on the island of the song, and you're out in the water somewhere, or you're on a different island.
You're backstroking across a canal, you know.
Exactly. Let's see here. Oh yeah. Like, what kind of stuff are you hearing in your head, like right now, that you might not have? Like, you ever hear stuff in your head that you're like, man, I'm feeling some stuff, but I don't know how to like shape it out. Like right now, it's like you're getting ideas, but like, you know, you don't know exactly. It's like you're more like, you have like ideas about like tones or energy. Like what kind of stuff are you maybe hearing right now that you haven't, like, you know, like you'll have them, and then like a year later you'll be able to get to them and be like, okay, that was what that was about. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Usually if I'm hearing something in my head, though, but you got to remember, I've been doing this a long time. My guitar is like my left hand. You know, and I'm not boasting. I'm just saying, you know, I know my way around it, and if I'm hearing something in my head, I know where those notes are before I even pick my guitar up.
Dig it.
Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And also, I've experimented with tones, the different tones of playing closer to the neck and back by the bridge and in the middle, and actually you can change the tone by the pick angle. You know?
Yeah.
So if you've done all that, which I did when I was your age, then now it's, if I hear it and I know what kind of, if I want a warm tone, you know, a real mellow, warm tone, then I know I'm going to play a little closer to the neck. If I want to just bright cut the microphone and in your face, then I'm going to back it up a little bit, get a little brighter sound.
Yeah, cool. So it's right there for you. That's good. Do you is music a spiritual thing for you?
Oh yeah. I go into a zone if it's good, then I go into a different zone if it's a bad jam. I'm not happy.
How do you deal with that? Because that can be so unpleasant, but sometimes you either have to be there for, like, you know, different reasons.
What? I've been in some really terrible jam sessions, especially bluegrass festivals, where my pet peeve would be I'd get 3 or 4 guys around a campsite that are really great players, and we'd be jamming and playing some really good bluegrass. Then next thing you know, there's 17 banjo players that barely know where they're at. And they're so loud that you can't hear anything else. Now that just drives me nuts. But the thing is that, and I have to step back and breathe, and I go, you know what? What they're doing right now is making them extremely happy. And who am I to make that stop? So I just kind of bear through it and go, it is what it is, and God bless you. You know, and that's what I tell musicians that are down on themselves, you know, about, well, I really can't play that well and everything. And I always tell them, I say, does it make you happy? Does it make you feel warm inside? Oh yeah, it makes me happy. I said, you're there. That's what it's for. You know? and hopefully you'll make other people around you happy. But if you're that bad, you're not gonna. As long as you're happy, everything's cool.
It's almost like a community service to be like, okay, you know, I'm not in love with what you're doing, but doggone it, this is making your year happen right here. This jam session or whatever.
Exactly, pretty much. And you know, yeah, I've done that to the point of like just going. Really?
It can be pretty rough sometimes.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
17 banjos. Woo.
And then there's always the somebody staggers out of the woods and wants to sing a song. They should not even open their mouth. You just kind of go, "That's special."
Smile and nod your head.
That's right.
Wait for it to be over.
You get on with yourself now.
What are your thoughts on like when you get started on a tune and you're getting into a flow? You're like, man, I like this. This is good. But then all of a sudden you're like, man, this is just like something else, or some of either somebody else's tune, or it's so much like something you already written. Or
Yeah,
something.
there's only so many notes. There's only so many notes. Every tune that's ever been thought of has already been written. Basically, you're taking pieces of all these songs and putting them in, and all of a sudden it's yours. But there's nothing you're going to do that hasn't been played before. You know? And you just have to understand that. And, you know, because there's no way you could actually... Well, I guess you can change chord progressions around, but mostly it's all been done before. Soon, you know, somewhere. If you add this chord in here, this chord, and this subchord, and blah blah blah, you're basically playing jazz, and those guys have already done it. You know.
They've covered a lot of ground.
You listen to some of the old Joe Pass and Dizzy Gillespie and all those guys, and you listen to some of their stuff and you go, "Oh, I thought I made that pass up." You know? Nope.
Yeah, it's hard to find notes in 2012 that haven't been played.
Oh yeah,
before.
And songs. You know, I mean, your love songs. I mean, it's all been said. It's all been said. You know.
Who are your work with a lot of many of the best musicians anywhere. Who are some of your favorites to collaborate with creatively?
That I work with?
Just that you have played with or create or just jammed with or anything that kind of really rang your bell creatively.
Vince Gill was a good one. He was a good one. He and I really had a good time swapping guitar licks. You know, and as a matter of fact, we extended the song so long that the guys, I looked around and the bass player was going, "Really?" We were just going back and forth, you know. It was like,
oh man, where was the recorder for that one, man?
Yeah,
yeah. Like to
it was actually we were in some magazine. They took a photo of us, but he and I were having a ball. It's like, "Oh yeah, what's this?" "Oh yeah."
Oh man.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. And then of course Charlie Daniels. He's another one. That likes to do stuff spontaneously. The guys I'm working with now are all. In fact, the guy did I introduce you to David Muse and Joe Lala and all those guys? They're all here.
So. Oh, cool. And y'all gonna play a little later?
I think so.
Kick ass.
Yeah.
Nice.
Well, half of our band is still in Colorado, so it was just we're gonna do like an acoustic thing or something. I don't know.
Cool. I'm looking forward to. I've never seen you play live.
I might play both my licks.
I might have my recorder out.
Yeah, there you go.
Are there any times that like like either times a day or just like moments that like kind of like throughout the day that you feel especially creative, or anything that kind of like is there anything that you kind of do to set your table to get in the
Late
flow?
at night. Late at night, when I have the lights turned down in my music room and I've got guitars laying everywhere, and I'll just be messing around and stuff, and I'll just pick something up, and then all of a sudden I just, and then if it starts getting really good, then I'll get on my computer, turn my recording gear on, and start piecing together a song. then I called the guys once again the next day, going, "Come over here now."
Yes, yes. It's interesting how vital like the moment can be. It's like, man, you get too far away from it and then it's just gone.
Right. Well, yeah, that's like I always, if I come up with a line for a new song, vocally, a melody and a hook phrase, then I immediately record it, because the next day you'll be scratching your head going, "What was that? What was that?" So as soon as you record it, you just play it back and go, "Oh yeah," and then you get right back in that train of thought.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like it's immediate about it. So I got like two more questions here. What are your thoughts about like the psychic thing that seems like it can happen sometimes musically, like where you can like feel like you can read people's minds, like where they're going?
Oh yeah, that happens all the time. I've played in bands with guys that it got to the point where I knew if that person had gas. Not not that he had.
Right.
But I'm just making a joke there. But no, I could tell just by looking at somebody, just the expression on their face, I know what they're going to do next. And then, yeah, it is it's a musical, spiritual, where everybody is one with the universe. It's a Zen moment.
That's right. That's right. Some of the best moments, man.
Yeah.
And especially when you can feel like you can extend that, for it seems like a lot of times it's just fleeting. I got one more question. I'm not trying to keep it too long.
It's all right.
If you had any advice for people just starting to explore their own creativity, what would you tell them? Something that maybe helped you?
Listen to as many different styles of music as you possibly can. Although excuse me for just...
It's all good. It's all good.
Sweetie, I'm right in the middle of this interview. Yeah. No, I mean, yeah, we're in the back of this bus in here doing the interview. Okay. Okay, I'll be back on a minute. Thanks. Bye-bye. Anyway, what was I saying? What was the question again?
Oh, it was like any advice for like someone just starting to write songs or play guitar or anything?
Oh, yeah. It doesn't matter. Everybody has their own personal taste of what style of music they want to play. But I would recommend listen to as many styles of music as possible, because it will open some doors for you about how to approach what you're doing in your style of music. Because you can always learn something. Like I said, like the jazz thing, different chord passes that lead you into the next chord and stuff like that. And some of it's a little overboard for bluegrass, and some of it is not. Some of it is beautiful if everybody's playing along with you. And then there's some great players from around South America that have some stuff out. The Gypsy Kings, for one, those guys are awesome. Just listen to as much music as you can. Listen to some of the classical music too. Bach, Beethoven, Mozart, all that stuff. And it'll broaden your horizons.
Where do you feel like your own creativity is leading you right now?
Well, I'm playing in, we do all original songs. I'm doing, we don't do anything that we haven't written.
Dig it.
And we're getting ready to do a CD. Most of the guys in my band all have platinum albums.
Wow.
Yeah, 90% of the guys have platinum albums plus. That's what we do. If we didn't write it, we don't play it.
All original. That's cool, man. Well, shoot, that's awesome.